From a cute blonde girl stepping out of Disney's Fantasyland to a pop icon turning heads across Hollywood, Sabrina Carpenter's journey has been nothing short of bold, scandalous, and powerfully transformative. Once mocked as an Ariana Grande copycat, labeled the other woman in a tabloid-fueled love triangle, and criticized for wearing revealing dresses, she stood tall and said, "I wear what I want, not what you like." And it was exactly those controversies that forged an artist unwilling to conform, unwilling to be anyone's sidekick. In today's video, we're diving deep into Sabrina Carpenter's life. From her innocent beginnings and overlooked early music, to the moment she exploded onto the Billboard charts and became a Gen Z favorite. Behind that soft-spoken exterior lies a strategic rebel, an artist's soul in constant search of her own voice, and a young woman bold enough to turn pain into lyrics, criticism into fire, and herself into someone entirely her own. Don't blink, because Sabrina Carpenter's story might just make you rethink what it means to be a star in the modern era. Biography and early career of Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Annlyn Carpenter was born on May 11, 1999, in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. The youngest of four sisters, she grew up in a modest but artistically rich household. From an early age, Sabrina showed a deep passion for both music and acting. At just around 10 years old, she was already filming singing performances at home and uploading them to YouTube. Her family, especially her parents, Elizabeth and David Carpenter, played a huge role in supporting and nurturing her artistic talents. Interestingly, Sabrina's aunt is none other than Nancy Cartwright, the legendary voice of Bart Simpson from the iconic animated series, The Simpsons. That connection not only served as early inspiration, but also gave Sabrina a glimpse into the entertainment industry from a young age. In 2010, at just 11 years old, Sabrina made her first TV appearance in an episode of Law & Order: Special Victims Unit, playing a guest role. Although the part was small, her emotional and natural performance left a strong impression on industry professionals. She continued to appear in various TV projects like The Goodwin Games, Austin and Ally, and Orange is the New Black, gradually building a solid foundation for her acting career. However, her big break came in 2014 when she landed the role of Maya Hart in the Disney Channel series Girl Meets World, a sequel to the classic 1990s show Boy Meets World. In the series, Maya is a rebellious, street-smart girl with a rough background but strong spirit and intelligence. Sabrina's vibrant, sharp, and authentic performance made Maya one of the most beloved characters on the show. The series ran for 3 seasons and turned Sabrina into a sought-after teen star. But acting wasn't her only lane. Sabrina was simultaneously pursuing a career in music. In 2014, she signed with Hollywood Records, the same label that launched the careers of several other Disney stars like Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, and Miley Cyrus. That same year, she released her debut single, Can't Blame a Girl for Trying, a light, acoustic pop track with a surprisingly mature tone. The song was well received by young audiences and earned praise from critics for her bright, emotive voice and her natural storytelling ability. Her debut album, Eyes Wide Open, dropped in 2015, further establishing her musical direction. Though it leaned heavily into teen pop, the album hinted at her desire to break free from the formulaic Disney mold and grow as an artist. From 2015 to 2017, alongside her TV work, Sabrina expanded her music career by joining tours and performing at various music events across the US. She opened for major acts and steadily built a loyal fan base, thanks to her talent and her vibrant, positive image. Her strong live vocals, ability to write her own songs, and confident stage presence made it clear to both fans and industry insiders that Sabrina was more than just another passing Disney star. She had the chops and the ambition to evolve into a legitimate, long-term music artist. The early phase of her career, from a bedroom performer to a Disney Channel regular to a signed recording artist, was marked by relentless dedication and a willingness to learn. Sabrina Carpenter didn't coast on luck or family name. Her rise in the competitive world of Hollywood was driven by real talent, hard work, and fierce determination. These early foundations would later become the springboard for her transformation from a teen star into a breakout pop figure on the international stage. The turning point in her music career. From Disney girl to Gen Z pop icon. After making a name for herself as Maya Hart in Girl Meets World and releasing her debut album Eyes Wide Open in 2015, Sabrina Carpenter was ready to make a bold shift in her career. She no longer wanted to be confined to the teen star image crafted by Disney. Instead, Sabrina set her sights on becoming a true pop artist. Creative, mature, and musically distinct. That evolution began with her second studio album, Evolution, released in October 2016. This project marked a clear departure in sound, message, and image. Songs like On Purpose, Thumbs, No Words, and Run and Hide showcased a modern synth-pop style, blending electronic sounds with deeply personal lyrics. Sabrina was steadily stepping away from bubblegum teen pop and diving into a more artistically ambitious phase. Notably, the track Thumbs, with its driving beat, clever lyrics, and sharp delivery, became one of her first major hits, beloved by young audiences worldwide and widely covered across social media. Riding on the success of Evolution, Sabrina embarked on a nationwide and European tour called the Evolution Tour, which solidified her reputation not just in the studio but also as a dynamic live performer. Critics praised her consistent live vocals, confident stage presence, and easy rapport with the crowd. Even at just 17 or 18 years old, she showed the confidence and poise of an artist ready to hold her own in the global pop scene. Between 2018 and 2019, she doubled down on her artistic evolution with the release of 2 follow-up albums. Singular, Act I, and Singular, Act II. These records reflected a clear shift into R&B and dance pop territory, exploring themes like taking control of your own life, embracing self-identity, and feminine allure. Together, these albums marked her complete departure from her innocent, teen-friendly roots. Almost Love, the lead single from Singular Act I, was widely seen as her declaration that she was stepping into adulthood. With its infectious beat, provocative lyrics, and fiery performances, Sabrina shattered any lingering perception of her as a Disney princess. Other standout tracks like Sue Me, Paris, In My Bed, and Pushing 20 reflected not only a more sophisticated image but also a sharper approach to personal branding. Sue Me, in particular, an anthem of confidence and defiance, hinted at Sabrina's behind-the-scenes legal battles, showing her ability to turn real-life conflict into meaningful and resonant art. Still, transitioning wasn't without its struggles. Despite receiving praise for her technical skill and artistic potential, Sabrina faced challenges in carving out a unique space in a pop scene crowded with juggernauts like Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Dua Lipa, and Billie Eilish. Some critics felt her music hadn't yet fully broken out of the Disney girl trying to be sexy mold, lacking the creative edge to spark a true global phenomenon. But Sabrina didn't waver. She kept writing, collaborating with new producers, and experimenting with different musical styles in pursuit of an identity all her own. Then came 2020, a year when the world stood still due to the COVID-19 pandemic. For Sabrina, it became a time of personal and artistic rebirth. She parted ways with Hollywood Records and signed with Island Records, one of the most respected labels in the industry. This move was a strategic breakthrough, giving her more creative freedom and professional support in terms of production, image development, and marketing. And it was with Island that Sabrina began crafting what would become the biggest leap of her career. The album Emails I Can't Send, released in 2022. More than just a record, the project played like an emotional diary, chronicling her rawest experiences, from heartbreak and public drama to career doubts and personal rediscovery. Emails I Can't Send not only helped Sabrina reconnect with herself, but also marked a defining moment in her career. With standout tracks like Nonsense, Vicious, Feather, and Because I Liked a Boy, she showcased impressive vocal control, mature storytelling, and a vivid emotional palette. The album offered a deep, introspective look at a young woman trying to find her voice in the chaos of fame. With its widespread success, Sabrina Carpenter finally shed the label of former Disney star turned singer. She had become a fully realized pop artist, one with a clear identity, a powerful voice, and a devoted global fan base. Drama, relationships, and major controversies. Though she launched her career with the wholesome image of a Disney good girl, Sabrina Carpenter quickly found herself at the center of media firestorms as she stepped into adulthood, especially when it came to her high-profile relationship dramas that rocked the internet. One of the most infamous incidents unfolded in 2021, when Sabrina was suddenly swept into a messy love triangle involving actor Joshua Bassett and singer Olivia Rodrigo. The drama ignited when Olivia released the global hit Driver's License, a haunting breakup ballad filled with heartbreak. Listeners quickly speculated that Olivia was singing about being left for a blonde older girl, and the internet instantly pointed fingers at Sabrina Carpenter, who had been spotted getting close with Joshua around that time. Although none of the three ever publicly confirmed the full story, the speculation alone thrust Sabrina into the online spotlight, and not in a good way. Olivia's fans took to social media to accuse Sabrina of stealing someone else's man, even though no solid evidence existed. In response to the backlash, Sabrina released the song Skin, a pop ballad filled with pointed lyrics that many saw as a direct rebuttal to Driver's License. The line, "Maybe you didn't mean it, maybe blonde was the only rhyme," was widely interpreted as a subtle jab back at Olivia's lyrics. While Sabrina clarified that the song wasn't intended as an attack on anyone specific, many believed she had added fuel to the fire, intensifying the already viral drama. The love triangle quickly became one of the most talked about sagas on social media, dominating timelines and headlines for months. This drama was both a challenge and a turning point. On one hand, it toughened Sabrina's image, stripping away any lingering sense of innocence from her Disney days. On the other hand, it brought her unprecedented media attention, catapulting her name into global pop culture conversations. No longer seen as just a mid-tier singer-actress, Sabrina became a serious contender in the Gen Z pop landscape. Not just for her music, but for her highly scrutinized personal life. Rather than shy away from the attention, she leaned into it, turning personal chaos into creative fuel. She channeled her emotions into her music, making her songs more relatable, raw, and emotionally resonant for young fans going through similar struggles. Beyond the Bassett-Rodrigo triangle, Sabrina has also been linked to other celebrities, fueling even more speculation and tabloid buzz. Rumored flings include Griffin Gluck, her Tall Girl co-star, Teen Wolf actor Dylan O'Brien, and more recently, Saltburn star Barry Keoghan. Though she's never officially confirmed any of these relationships, each new sighting of her with someone new has sparked widespread online chatter. It's all helped solidify her image as a young woman unafraid to love, experiment, and live her truth, even if it means weathering intense public scrutiny. Relationship drama wasn't the only controversy Sabrina faced. As she transitioned into adulthood, her increasingly bold and provocative fashion choices stirred strong reactions from both fans and critics. Some felt she was growing up too fast, while others accused her of using her body to grab attention. In particular, the 2024 cover art for her album Man's Best Friend drew heavy criticism. She posed in a daringly cut outfit, exuding confidence and control. Detractors labeled it inappropriate for her younger fans, but just as many applauded her for embracing her sexuality and challenging outdated norms around femininity. Sabrina addressed the backlash in interviews and through her music, stating that she wasn't trying to be provocative, she was simply being herself. One standout example is the track Feather from Emails I Can't Send, widely viewed as a feminist anthem. The song narrates the process of shedding toxic relationships and reclaiming personal power. Sabrina made it clear that her sultry image wasn't about catering to male desire, but about proving that women have the right to own their bodies and their presentation. A stance that has earned her strong support from young feminists and empowerment communities. She also faced claims of copying bigger artists like Ariana Grande or Britney Spears, especially during her early ventures into sultry R&B pop. But over time, Sabrina's deeply personal lyrics, unique vocal tone, and songwriting versatility have helped her step out of the shadows of her predecessors. Slowly but surely, she's carved out her own identity. No longer viewed as anyone's copycat, but as an artist in her own right.
Wealth, Income, and the lavish life of Sabrina Carpenter.
Since transforming into a mature pop artist and scoring major success with her albums Emails I Can't Send, 2022, and Short and Sweet, 2024, Sabrina Carpenter has not only proven her musical talent but also climbed into the ranks of America's wealthiest young entertainers. While she hasn't publicly revealed her exact net worth, sources like Celebrity Net Worth and Wealthy Gorilla estimate her assets to be between $12 million and $18 million as of 2025. An impressive figure for someone just past the age of 25. Her income flows from three main streams: music, acting, and brand endorsements. Musically, Sabrina's move from Hollywood Records to Island Records gave her far more control over both creative direction and financial decisions. Emails I Can't Send was not only an artistic milestone but also a commercial triumph, generating revenue through album sales, streaming on platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, and most significantly, ticket sales from her live tours. The album charted high on the Billboard 200, and several tracks entered the Billboard Hot 100, with Nonsense and Feather becoming her top digital sellers at the time. Building on that momentum, she dropped Short and Sweet in 2024, a record that took her fame to new heights. The three lead singles, Espresso, Please Please Please, and Taste, all landed in the top 10 on the Billboard charts, earning Sabrina her first 2 Grammy nominations and a win in the Best Pop Vocal Album category. Alongside the album release, she launched the Short and Sweet Tour, a global run that stretched from late 2024 into 2025, covering over 70 cities across North America, Europe, and Asia. In the US alone, she sold out multiple nights at venues seating 10,000 to 20,000 fans, generating tens of millions of dollars in ticket revenue. On top of that, she raked in major profits from tour merchandise, t-shirts, posters, limited edition vinyls, signature perfumes, and branded product collaborations. Estimates suggest she personally pocketed more than $5 million from the tour after production and operating costs. While music remains her main moneymaker, Sabrina hasn't stepped away from film and television entirely. Although she's been more focused on her singing career lately, her acting resume, including roles in Tall Girl, Work It, The Hate You Give, Clouds, and her performance in the Broadway version of Mean Girls, has kept her Hollywood profile strong. These projects provide not only a steady paycheck but also diversify her fan base, attracting audiences from young teens to indie film lovers. She's also lent her voice to animated films, video games, and movie soundtracks. Revenue streams that, while smaller, are consistent and sustainable over time. Another major source of income is brand endorsement. With her stunning looks, bold fashion sense, and massive social media following, over 35 million on Instagram and tens of millions across TikTok and YouTube, Sabrina is a top-tier influencer that companies compete to work with. She has partnered with major brands like Samsung, Revlon, Fendi, and Coach, and notably served as the face of Prada's global campaign during Milan Fashion Week 2023. A single Instagram post from her can reportedly earn between $100,000 and $200,000 depending on campaign scope and audience reach. In terms of lifestyle, Sabrina keeps things relatively private, but she doesn't hide her love for luxury fashion, cars, and real estate. She owns a home in Los Angeles valued at around $2 million, purchased in 2021 and renovated with a minimalist modern design. It includes a private recording studio and a quiet garden sanctuary. More recently, she invested in a penthouse in New York City, signaling a possible expansion of her artistic endeavors to the East Coast. In a Vogue interview, she shared her passion for interior design and how she loves personalizing her space to reflect her creative identity. She's also a car enthusiast, owning a mix of electric and performance vehicles, including a Porsche Taycan, a Tesla Model X, and a Range Rover Sport. Ideal choices for someone constantly on the move between gigs and cities. While she doesn't flaunt her wealth on social media, fans have noted her increasingly high-end fashion choices and her regular front-row presence at runway shows for Versace, Valentino, and Balmain. Sabrina Carpenter is more than just a performer. She's become a Gen Z fashion icon, recognized by major publications like Elle, Vogue, and Harper's Bazaar for her distinct, evolving style. Shaping her style, cultural influence, and the legacy of Sabrina Carpenter. In an entertainment industry that constantly demands reinvention and uniqueness, Sabrina Carpenter hasn't settled for simply becoming a successful pop star. She's steadily worked to define herself as a cultural symbol for Gen Z. She represents a generation raised on social media, one that values individuality, diversity, and the right to define their own identity. To achieve this, Sabrina has embarked on a personal journey to craft a style and image that are unmistakably hers. Seductive but never shallow, strong yet unafraid to show vulnerability. The kind of duality that reflects a young woman growing up in the public eye. Her signature look didn't just happen overnight. It's the result of years of experimentation, trial and error, and smart refinement. Ever since she left Girl Meets World, Sabrina gradually shed her innocent, girl-next-door Disney image and stepped into bolder fashion territory. Body-hugging dresses, crop tops, knee-high boots, and her voluminous blonde hair styled with vintage flair reminiscent of 1960s icons like Brigitte Bardot or Marilyn Monroe. Her style pays homage to those classic muses while embracing the fearless energy of modern young women reclaiming their image and autonomy. Unlike many former Disney stars who downplayed their femininity post-teen stardom, Sabrina leaned into it, even turning that tension into a creative weapon, as seen in tracks like Feather and Please Please Please. But Sabrina's brand of female empowerment doesn't rely on shock value or rebellion for its own sake. She's chosen a subtler, more intentional path, one rooted in self-awareness. She presents herself as a smart, self-possessed young woman who knows who she is and what she wants. She's never afraid to embrace her sensuality, but she refuses to let anyone else define it for her. In a 2025 interview with Teen Vogue, she put it simply, "I don't wear what I think is sexy. I wear what makes me feel powerful. That's the kind of power I want to pass on to the girls growing up with me." That message, authentic, unapologetic, and empowering, has made her a role model to many young fans learning to love themselves in a world full of impossible beauty standards. Sabrina's cultural impact also extends far beyond music and fashion. She's mastered the art of connecting with fans through social media. On Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, she doesn't just post glamour shots or backstage photos. She shares unfiltered moments, personal reflections, and even her failures. Instead of crafting a distant celebrity persona, she engages her audience like a close friend. A perfect example of this connection is her now famous nonsense outros, where she improvises new, often cheeky lyrics during each tour stop. These moments go viral not just because they're clever, but because they feel personal, real, and alive. Proof that her shows are about more than just performance. They're about shared experience. What sets Sabrina apart is her refusal to chase fame through controversy or constant media exposure. While many artists still rely on traditional routes, magazine covers, TV appearances, tabloid drama, Sabrina has chosen to build her legacy through consistency, quality, and connection. She's focused on putting out meaningful art, growing an engaged fan base, and telling stories that reflect real-life struggles and emotions. It's why, even though she may not be the biggest media name, her influence is lasting and deeply rooted in the hearts of her fans. People who see themselves in her music, her words, and her journey. Sabrina Carpenter's success isn't just about the number of hits or sold-out concerts. It lies in the fact that she's rewritten the coming-of-age narrative for Disney alumni. While others like Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, and Selena Gomez took years to shake off the teen idol label, Sabrina found her formula early: persistence, intelligence, and complete creative ownership. She's not just a singer, an actress, or a fashion icon. She's a trendsetter and a voice for a generation of young women learning how to take control of their own story. It's no exaggeration to say that throughout the 2020s, Sabrina Carpenter has transcended every box she was put in. She's become one of the most compelling cultural figures of her era, quietly redefining what it means to be famous, to be feminine, and to be free.